Oh, hey sewers, so this is probably going to be the last video of my series. So we're going to start by attaching the fur onto our moccasins. I got my beaver strip all cut out kinda. It's actually recycled from a jacket. I make my strips 2 inches wide. I put like a sewing guideline right there, just colored, so it'll make sense to you once you start sewing this. So here we go. I just got to hook up my camera to my Indian tripod and get started. So hopefully this will stay in place while I'm sewing. What you're going to do is you're going to get yourself an X-Acto knife or a blade and lift it up a little bit, and then you're just going to cut and slide. And just follow your line. So hopefully with practice you'll get that right. You don't want to cut right into the fur because otherwise you're going to get fur everywhere. And so for the sake of the tutorial and the time, we're just going to go like at lightning speed. So anyways, here's my moccasin and here's my liner. So we're just going to insert that inside. It's going to seem really puffy and stuff at first, but just do your best trying to get it in there. You're cutting from the pattern, and your lining and your moccasin are both going to be the same size, so depending on the thickness of your liner, you might have to trim it down a little bit. So just keep that in mind. So that's in there. So what I like to do is I like to do tack points. So right where the vamp is, just do like a little tiny secure little knot just to keep the lining in place while you're sewing it. Just snip that away. And you're going to do the opposite side of the vamp. So you'll have like 2 secure stitches on either side of the vamp. So your lining is in place. Just move it around, tuck it inside until, you know, it's kind of like flush. But for the sake of the class, we're just going to go ahead and do this. Sewing my fur, just make sure that you have like your knot on your thread. So our strip, so I put like a little pink line at the end, so this is where we're going to start at the edge, and then we're going to just like line everything up in the back from the back seam like so. And then we're going to do like a secure stitch. Whoop, I just split my thread. But that's okay. You could just like pull it out a little bit, and you're gonna just do some whip stitching. Make sure that everything is like all tucked inside. It's about every 2 or 3 millimeters. Just make your stitches. Hope this is looking okay. And then you're just going to continue till you get back to the opposite end. So your fur is on the inside, and then you're just going to sew all the way around. The reason why I put my secure knots in here is just so that your lining doesn't slip around when you're sewing. So you could just like tuck everything in. And that's my little sewing trick for sewing in my fur. So I've got this like all completed for you. You've gotten to the end. You're gonna just put like a 90-degree angle or a 90-degree angle here, and then I kind of like cut my fur off onto a little tiny like angle away from your first line. So I'll just cut that. If you had if you had just cut it straight across, then your fur would be like a little bit tight. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to sew this shut. So hopefully I've got like this camera. I'm only doing like one take, so I'm hoping that the angle was okay on this. And as soon as you get to the end, you just pull it and then make yourself like a double secure knot. Ooh. And then I go back a stitch, and then I do that again. And just cut off your thread. And this is the moment of truth, folks. So my fur is off on a little angle a little bit. So when you do flip it inside out, you know, it won't be so tight. And it just looks absolutely amazing. Perfect every time. So there are like 2 tricks about like tacking your fur down. I like to do mine from the inside. So get your needle and thread. I fold it over, and just where the fold line is, then I will stick my needle in there and kinda push the needle through. I better get my thimble for this. And you just make like long stitches along like your seam line, pretty close, maybe about a 1/4 inch away, and just make big running base stitches. The pile or the thickness of your liner will actually conceal your thread, so it's not visible. And if you have pliers and you have a hard time pulling it through, then you could just like leave it. Or other trick is to fold it down, and then you're just catching, you know, the tips of your fur. And then you're just making like a big running stitch. And then you just go all the way around. Knots are like really easy to conceal. Just go catch the end a little bit, do a little loop, pull if it works, and then you could just like, you know, push it through the fur and then just like hide it and snip it. And then it's hidden. So that's my moccasin tutorial. So hopefully, you know, this really helped you. And I'm glad to share. So thank you.